Okay, we continue, students. As we stopped before, is the Malaysian Trade Union Congress is one of the parties in the IR system in Malaysia. Okay, and MTUC is not a trade union, but it is an affiliation. And I have explained this before. And then the Malaysian Employees Federation, which is also an affiliation where all the employers will be members in this MEF. So MEF will represent them in negotiating or consulting with the government. The MTUC also will be representing the trade unions, individual trade unions in negotiating and consulting with the government. And then the Ministry of Human Resources, which is the ministry that will oversee and administer all the departments under MOHR, and also enforces all the labor laws that falls under them. And then the individual trade unions such as National Union of Teaching Profession, National Union of Plantation Workers, National Union of Teaching Profession, and National Unions of Bank Employees, among examples of individual unions in Malaysia. And also individual employers such as the MAPA, okay, Malaysian Association of Plantation Employers, FMM, no, sorry, the Malaysian Association of Banking Employers. Okay, so these are all. Sorry, that one is the for under MEF. Under individual employers would be Maybank, or M-Bank, Telecom, Tenaga, TNB, Petronas. These are all individual employers, yeah. Right. So the government plays three major roles in Malaysian IR, as you see in Malaysia, because the government plays the most important part. It acts as one as a legislator through parliament, where all the when the ministry has drafted through the National Labour Advisory Council all the bills, yeah, to introduce new acts or amend the former one, or would like to revoke the former one and introduce a new one. It will have to go through the parliament, yeah. It is in the form of a bill which is brought to the parliament to be debated, and two-thirds agree, and if the two-thirds of the parliament members of parliament agree, then the bill will be passed into an act. So any new act or acts that are amended must go through the parliament first. And also the government act as an administrator through the Ministry of HR, okay, because they will administer and foresee administer and oversee and enforces, administer all the department like Department of Labour, Department of OSH, Department of IR, and also enforces the acts under each department. Okay, and also the government will be the largest employer in the country. Okay, also the role of an employer, because public servant forms the majority of employees in any country. Okay, so the Ministry of HR is responsible for administering and overseeing the IR system. And also the mission statement of the ministry is to develop a competitive workforce in an environment of industrial harmony and social justice. Okay, competitive workforce is through when they do the Pembangunan Nasional pembangunan manusia sumber manusia berhad, where they forces the employers to send Malaysian workers for training if they want back their money that has been contributed to the Pembangunan Sumber Manusia Berhad. If they want to redeem back their money, they will have to send Malaysian workers for training. And also because our main priority is economic development, so there must be industrial harmony, because we depend on foreign direct investors, okay, to establish and or open establishment in Malaysia, because they will provide work. So in order for them, for us to gain from them, they must make profit when they're operating in Malaysia. Then only they can contribute in terms of corporate tax as a source of income to our government, which the money will be used for the development of our country. So that's why the government has to control the power of trade union, and in doing so they will control the power of labor. So labor will remain weak because of this economic development being prioritized, but at the same time the government do not want, and also because they want industrial harmony, at the same time they also don't want Malaysian workers to be oppressed or victimized. Therefore the government greatly intervene, yeah, in form of in industrial relations department and industrial court, where they created a platform of unfair dismissal, where employees that feels that they are being unfairly dismissed or oppressed can bring their case to the IR department and and then referred to industrial court, and they can claim for a certain amount of damages or even reinstatement if they are not treated fairly, okay, if they're dismissed. Because in Malaysia, the industrial court upholds the security of tenure. Workers can't simply be let go or terminated just like that. There must be reasons, okay, there must be because of misconduct or retrenchment. When they have to do when there is redundancy, they have to prove this, and they have to do restructure. They cannot simply retrench, okay. They have to go through certain procedure in order to prove that they have to do restructure, okay, because they have financial problems and etc. Okay, we'll explain this in later topic. So the social justice is seen through this platform and the body, industrial department and industrial court. Okay, so Malaysian IR basic objectives are to protect the welfare of workers, of course, their safety through Department of OSH and the OSH Act, okay, Health and Rights, and to Industrial Relations Act 1967. Second, to promote good employee relationship through the Industrial Relations Act 1967, through stable and peaceful IR system. We have to make it peaceful, because if it's not, there will be industrial conflict. Therefore, this will deter foreign direct investors to invest in Malaysia. And then to equip the unemployed with basic industrial skills and to improve the skill level of the workforce through the Pembangunan Manusia Berhad Act, yeah, and the Pembangunan Sumber Manusia Berhad body, and to assist in maximizing countries' manpower resources to manpower planning, to make sure that is optimally utilized. There is not many Malaysian workers remain unemployed. There will be full employment, okay. That's how you maximize countries' manpower resources to manpower planning, meaning if they need manpower, they have to plan it. They will get it from the labor market, and we have ample supply of labor for the employers to utilize. Okay, so industrial harmony is necessary for the success of the individual enterprise and the success of the national economy. Remember, because national economy, economic development is our main priority, because we are a developing country and because we don't have our own product. We don't have exports, we only have imports. Okay, so it is important that we have industrial harmony to ensure that investment from foreign direct investors are flowing extensively into Malaysia and provide our citizens with work, okay, and employment. Okay, and then conflict is the antithesis of industrial harmony. That's what we don't want, the opposite industrial harmony. Okay, so we don't want conflict, we want harmony. There are ways when there is conflict that it must be settled through the harmonious way. That's why the government specified that collective bargaining is voluntary, but settlement of dispute is compulsory, because it has to be settled so that conflict will be managed. Okay, and then industrial relation system must find ways to manage conflict, because conflict which is not managed well will spiral out of control. then we cannot, and then everything it will be havoc. Okay. So the Ministry of HR has 8 departments, as you can see. Department of Labour for Peninsular Malaysia, Department of Labour Sabah, Department of Labour Sarawak, Department of IR, Department of Trade Union Affairs, Department of Occupational Safety and Health, and Manpower Department and Department of Skills Development is not relevant. Okay, so there are other organisations that report to Ministry of HR, or in the case of Employee Provident Fund Board, to the Ministry of Finance. So they are. And also there are other independent bodies which deals with labour matters. They are Social Security Organisation, PERCESO is in BM, in English is SOCSO, which enforces the SOCSO Act, and Employee Provident Fund Board will enforce Employee Provident Fund Act. Pembangunan Sumber Manusia Berhad will enforce the Pembangunan Sumber Manusia Berhad Act, and also Industrial Court as a body that will ensure there is social justice being carried out. Okay, so SOCSO, EPF are both statutory bodies because they have their own statutes, they have their own acts, and Pembangunan Sumber Manusia Berhad, of course, very obvious, it is private sector because of the Berhad thing. Okay, and then the Industrial Court is judicial body, as you can see, right? Okay, so industrial nation is related to institutions which are made up of trade union. Trade union is an institution. Okay, an institution is actually a body that have hierarchy. Okay, there's a boss, there is a what we call a director or a president, and then there's apa kita panggil, vice president, and then held by the secretary and the treasury, and just ordinary members. That is an institution. Okay, and then union federations, employers associations, courts, government, ministries, and organizations which have an input into industrial relations daily activities. Okay, and then there are also characters in IR which are one made of shop stewards. Greatly apa kita panggil practice in the UK. Shop stewards are actually leaders on the shop floor. Okay, production room is termed as a shop floor. Okay, so shop steward in the shop floor, they have the same hold the same position as their friends. They do not have any authority. They do not receive any authority given by the company. They're just normal, sometimes production workers, but because they have some form of leadership, which can actually what do you call, mempengaruhi. They can attract their friends, can actually the friends to follow whatever they say. They can apa kita panggil dalam English, mempengaruhi. So they can lead their friends. So if the union wants the union members to strike, shop stewards plays a very important role. They are very important. Okay, they can, even though they don't have any legitimate authority, they can persuade the other members to do whatever they want them to do, because they have some sort of leadership. And then full-time officials, trade union officers, they're also them who will make decisions and lead the trade union, and employees associations, human resource managers, conciliators, which in Malaysia it can only be done by the IR officer in the Department of IR. Department of Labour, they also term as IR officer, I think. And then an arbitrators in Malaysia, only Industrial Court can be an arbitrator. Okay, and then judges, Industrial Court, ministers and others. Of course, a High Court also, because once the case is heard in the Industrial Court and they want to appeal, if the parties do not satisfied with the results or decisions by industrial court, they can bring their case to a higher court, to the high court, in order to appeal, not appeal